I was genuine as hell and you ain't won't believe me. I was genuine as hell and you ain't won't believe me. I was genuine as hell and you ain't won't believe me. I was genuine as hell and you ain't won't believe me. Sometimes I wish I wasn't famous. Praises go to my creator. Gangster don't do no complaining. Remember nights when I was hunger painting. Sometimes I fast just to let the maker know I'm thankful. In the hellfire, everything below the ankle. Blow a bed and let my grandmother know I made it. Pain I feel, crying tears, it ain't no replacement. When your spirit comfort me and say you so amazing. Stick your chest out, lift your chin up, forever I've been with you. Beautiful and you don't look like apple what you been through. Pressure on my shoulders, still I'm staying focused. Dealing with a lot, it ain't too difficult enough.
What the? Hello? 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 What the? What? Hey! 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 Hello? Oh, hello?
Oh, what's your name, honey?
I'm Joe Gardner. Look, I'm not supposed to be here.
Ah, must have been sudden for you. You see, Joe, I'm 106 years old. Been waiting a long time for this.
For what?
The great beyond.
The great beyond? As in beyond life?
Yeah.
That's death right there?
Ivy, alam mo na tumatsayaw nagsapa.
Exciting, isn't it?
No. Listen, I have a gig tonight. I can't die now.
Well, I really don't think you have a lot to say about this.
Yes, I do. I'm not dying the very day I got my shot. I'm due. Heck, I'm overdue. I'm out of here.
I don't think you're supposed to go that way.
This can't happen. I'm not dying today. Not when my life just started. What was that? Wait, I'm not finished. I gotta get back. I don't want to die. I'm not done. Run! Why aren't you running?
I don't know.
What's wrong with you people?
I don't know.
뭐야, 내 바지 어디 갔어?
I'm not done. I got him. Oh my goodness. Sorry. Excuse me. Help! I'm not done. I gotta get back. Oh my goodness.
In the occult world, torches mean something to them. So here's what the torch means to an occult person. The flaming torch is a symbol of Lucifer. Lucifer, having regained his star and his diadem, will assemble his legions for new works of creation. Attracted by his flaming torch, celestial spirits will descend. Then the torch of Lucifer will signal from heaven and to earth.
A lot of people have seen Columbia Pictures. They see the logo when the woman comes out and the beautiful woman, and she's holding a great flame in her hand, or a great light, the great torch, the torch of knowledge, of light, because Satan comes as an angel of light. That's his light.
See, Lady Liberty is actually patterned after the Greek god Prometheus. That god right there is the light bearer, or Lucifer even, the one who brings the light.
Now, this is not a coincidence that you got these lights. You know, this is going on in real time. There's these lights called the Lucifer LED lights. And these are the new LED lights that's in place for the new street lights, right? Because these lights, like I said, have the ability to cause mind manipulation, and the mind manipulation is to keep you under mental subjugation, which is the lunar light lock. And that lunar light lock is to where you cannot unlock the spiritual keys to where you can navigate through the matrix system, right? It's the same color spectrum as the Lucifer lights, right? Because I told you, mind manipulation in itself is connected to the crown chakra. So in order to attack God, you got to attack the crown. You got to attack the heavens. So when you disconnect it due to mind manipulation, this is where they can carry out certain agendas. This is why everybody's thinking on the same frequency, right? You see what I'm saying? So it's not a coincidence that these color spectrums is connected to the mind. And that's why everybody in the movie, like I said, is you're not a clone just based on you having a different avatar. You could be a clone just because of you thinking like the next person. With that being said, that's why the great majority of people on the planet right now, they said it was a study that is 68% of people on the planet walking around with no consciousness, right? Meaning that they're thinking on the same frequency through mind manipulation. And the mind manipulation is connected to this color spectrum, right? Which is a violet or color purple, which is kind of connected to the crown chakra.
Here on my right is what a normal light should look like, right? That's the kind of lighting. But across Phoenix, we are seeing this instead, more purple lights showing up. We're told about 1,200 of these lights started popping up a couple of months ago in the city. That's out of about 100,000 total lights in Phoenix.
You may have seen them lately on your evening commute. Street lights across the state that are glowing blue. And the Iowa DOT says it's an issue they are aware of.
That's right, Patrick. When they were first installed over a year ago, they were a normal white color. Now, as you can see here behind me, they've changed to a purple blue color.
The lights really are different colors. Some white, some a purple, even blue hue. 16 months ago, they gave off the normal white light, but within a year, their true colors started shining through.
Purple street lights that are still illuminating some roads right here in the Triad.
These purple street lamps have seen the light of day or night on many roads in the Carolinas, from Kernersville to Greensboro, Burlington, and beyond.
Explain why you asked that question about strange new street lights.
So in Canada, I first started noticing the strange blue hue or lavender hued street lights. It was fall of 2020, and it was on the main highways that is the border crossing between British Columbia and Alberta. And it was very strange because that increases the frequency of light, right? So yellower hues are lower frequencies of light. Purple, violet is a higher frequency. The actual wavelength is shorter.
Okay.
And the hue coming off of these lights was very unusual. It was very intense. In the cities, you'd see here and there, you'd see these purple hued lights. And then they started showing up in 2021 and 2022 in Vancouver, which is the westernmost province. Now, I always thought, well, either it's a mistake or these purple hued lights are appearing everywhere intentionally on main thoroughfares, like roads where a lot of people pass, or choke points.
I've made that observation as well. These are very close to heavily trafficked intersections. So I'll just confirm my anecdotal observation of that. They're not in way out areas or side streets. And I want to know what you think of that when you get to.
So the thing is, well, you can speculate as to almost any reason why you would need purple hue. But in the molecular biology world, we use ultraviolet lights for immunofluorescence. So what's immunofluorescence? Well, if you're doing genetic engineering and you splice a gene into a cell, and then you want to know whether the gene was successfully spliced into a cell. So then you tag it with red fluorescent protein, green fluorescent protein, or luciferase, something that just lights up and turns neon when in ultraviolet light.
Oh my God,
right?
I know where you're
So then
going.
if that cell starts producing green fluorescent protein in addition to whatever you spliced into it, then you have a high probability that that cell had the gene successfully spliced into it. So it's the purple lights or ultraviolet light is a way for detecting whether or not something has been successfully genetically spliced into the target.
Oh my God. So are you surmising and possibly suggesting that in the context of these mRNA shots, but that those people who took the shots will have some luminescence under these streetlights? I mean, imagine the government being able to, and law enforcement being able to look at a crowd of protesters or passing through an intersection, and you can spot those that don't have that luminescence.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Dr. Nagase.
So part of the false light agenda basically is, one, they want to hijack the codes. This is why they use programs like MKUltra, because they're actually sex slave programs and other types of programs, the 23andMe DNA type things. They're actually accessing your DNA because they want to get access to the God code. This is really important to understand, and this is deep, deep stuff over here. There's lots of layers of things that are going on in the false light community, not just this. This is some deep stuff, but there's other things too that we'll talk about a little bit today. But that's one of the things that they're doing, is they're trying to access your DNA so that they can hijack the codes, because the codes are coded into your DNA. That's why the whole war is about your consciousness and your DNA. And your consciousness and your DNA are connected. And so, your job is to activate your 12-strand DNA. If you're not activating your 12-strand DNA, all the work you're doing to try to help everybody else is actually interfering with things, because the work is to activate that DNA first. If you don't do that, well, you're in the matrix. And so now that's not meant to shame anybody that's doing works or anything like that, but it's just, you got to really be careful there, because again, a lot of people are channeling demons and claiming to be in the light, and they're infecting the consciousness of the collective, and it's very, very, very dangerous. And not only are they infecting their consciousness, but these demonic entities who are connecting to those mediums and channels that are not in the Krasala body are then working through to connect to other people. So if you're watching channels or mediums and they're actually not in the light, you are opening yourself to demonic entities. It's like watching a negative movie about murderers. Once you open that door to yourself, you're opening your portals, your vessel, to be attached by other entities. It's very...
We're in the terahertz range. And if you hit the right frequency, it is opening, like a light conducting unit. And if you have a chain of these base pairs that react on different frequencies, you need a sequence of sounds to open all the fragments to make the entire thing conductive. So it goes like do-do-do-do-do, and then the next part of the genetic thing is activated to either produce light or to produce poison. If you bring this RNA or DNA into the human body, you can kind of take a radio signal and activate it from outside to produce any substance you want or to produce any light you want. Light is emotion, light is thought, light is everything. Light is emotion, light is thought, light is everything. Everything we sense as experience of ourselves. And a substance can do everything with us. It can poison us slowly, it can kill us immediately. Picture this. We are infected with this RNA, and the RNA is forming a cluster of 1 millimeter distances around us. And a cluster like this is able to carry a computer program or an artificial, non-physical structure or being. This structure can hoover through the field, but it also can hoover into us.
This structure can hoover through the field, but it also can hoover into us.
And this structure knows how to access the light production, and it knows how to access the production of poisons. And it also carries intelligence in itself and has the ability to make decisions. If you have an invisible creature crawling through your body, trying to access your energetic system, this is all a demon.
Listen, guys, now I'm really worried. Second shot. Look at this. It's glowing. Now I go down my arm, and it gets worse. I have a little dot here. But the worst part, look at the vein in my hand. That is sick. Why is this doing this? Can someone tell me? Look at that. Look at that. It's glowing. And that's exactly where I got the shot. And now my hand and my vein is glowing. Why the hell is this doing this? What the hell?
Hey, what's going on, family? All praises to the Most High God. I want to show y'all something. Y'all see this? All right, this right here are these black lights that they are starting to put up all over the cities. All right, this is the city I'm in right now. Let me go show y'all something right here. All right, boom, you see how those are the white lights over here, right? And boom, now they got the black ones. And these are starting to go up all over the city. So I'm gonna show y'all, this is just one portion. This is just one place. I'm gonna show y'all the other spots. All right, you'll hear the other ones right here now. Boom, see that? Now bring it over. I'm standing right up under one right now. Wow. You know what I'm saying? And look at the glow that it puts on my hand. All right, so now if y'all can peep it, going all the way down right there. Boom, boom. And then the next one, let's walk it. Let's walk it. So that one there, then going all the way down. They're putting these all up. I'm showing y'all this here so y'all don't think this is some sort of, photo manipulation or nothing like that. Yo, they got black lights going up all over the city. All over.
So here again is that highlighted section of the patent. And the hilarious thing about this lie is this next article coming up, which literally says that genetically modified ferritin, which is in the magic potion, is attracted to an externally applied magnet even after it's been internalized into cells.
Because the particles inside ferrofluid are so tiny, they can seep inside cells.
They can seep inside cells. They can seep inside cells.
Now here's where things get interesting. So there are 4 main remote mind control mechanisms in relation to the magic potion. Optogenetics, which is a method of controlling the brain with UV light. Radiogenetics, which is a method of controlling the brain with radio waves. Electromagnetogenetics, which is a method of controlling the brain with EMF waves. And magnetogenetics, which is a method of controlling the brain with magnetic fields. The first one we're going to cover is optogenetics, and it's the one that's obviously the most concerning in regards to all of the streetlights, the LED streetlights we're seeing coming up everywhere. So like I've previously stated, that they can manipulate brain activity using quantum dots through your eyes, since the retina already has photooptic cells that absorb light, which are then processed by the brain. And if the quantum dot reaches the brain, the light is then able to increase their quantum yield, basically like recharging a battery. Now, the brain communicates through the firing of synapses. Those synaptic firings create light, which are called biophotons, and photons are light particles. Therefore, light can be used to manipulate neurons in synaptic behavior. So for other methods that don't include using the retina or the eye, you can also shine light directly onto the quantum dot. So that's why the magic potion is an intramuscular injection, so that some of those quantum dots stay near the surface of the skin so that their quantum yield can be increased by an external light source, like, say, an LED streetlight.
This is the patent. This is the patent for inoculating human beings with a self-directing, self-replicating, self-adapting, self-repairing, regenerating parasite that's going to turn you into a hybrid race of Lucifer. And per the patent, these things are 1/1,000,000th the size of a virus. They can be found in hospital and medical supplies, dental supplies, toothpaste, mouthwash, medications, over-the-counter products, hair care products, natural foods, vitamins, supplements, emergency healthcare procedures, bandages, adhesives, masks. All the masks are infected, markers, powders, granules, geriatric care, pediatric care, so baby formula, baby diapers, baby food, medical devices and imaging. It's used in prenatal care, so it's used in your ultrasounds and the ultrasound jelly. It can be used in our U.S. military or any government's military. They can coat their systems with it. So the surface, like if they just have to spray down the surfaces. I think we can go to Cloud Minds afterwards. I can show you the technology, the AI technology that they're going to use to basically infest the entire planet with this parasite. And I can show that to you in a minute. It can be used in food preparation, food testing, storage wrap systems, water treatment devices. So it will be put in our water supply. It will be put in plumbing systems, animal care, veterinary care. It will be put in slaughter products. It's going to be put in cookware. Again, these are living parasites that are 1/1,000,000th the size of a virus. They are intelligent and they are aggressive. This is the most infectious pathogen and demonic pathogen this earth has ever hosted. And the only thing to shut it down is 5G technology. It can be put in cleaning products, office supplies, your paper, your printers, your ink. It can be put in personal hygiene products, sexual hygiene products, reproduction, again, so that can be birth control pills, but that could also be when you go get a sonogram, right? It can be put into jewelry. They can just coat everything with this. And then they talk about how it can hijack every not just every cell, but every genetic structure, RNA, silencing RNA, antibodies, peptides, oligonucleotides. I mean, everything, every protein. These are, the idea is to, as that demon wants to do, is to restructure life. It can be put into consumer electronics, heating, ventilation, air conditioning systems, water, milk, food, drink, cosmetics, fluids, fragrances, So the plan, the reason why Biden signed that executive order was to say that they need a full-on government approach so that every cell in the human body can be programmed, is because they are not planning. They've already started unleashing this stuff in everything that we're going to be exposed to. So this is President Biden, a traitor, a treason, a Satanist. From his executive order, we need to develop genetic engineering technologies and techniques to be able to write circuitry for cells and predictably program biology the same way we write software and program computers. Unlock the power of the biological data. That's why Starlink is needed. Every person is going to have trillions and trillions of information, so they need these servers for it. Computing tools and artificial intelligence, and he talks about using that. He says, we want to advance the science of scale-up production while reducing obstacles of commercialization so that the technologies and products can reach faster. Now, he does talk about here, including the scale-up production. So the production is called biosynthesis. The production is done within the human body. We become the production factories for this technology, and we become the property of AI. So this explains how genetic engineering hydrogels, that mass production can be done through biosynthesis. So just like a plant does photosynthesis, the AI uses our body to produce more AI in our body.
It's so disgusting. It's so disgusting that they've done this. Since the injection rollout, I don't know what exactly has happened here, but it is in everyone.
The technology has to come down. If a year and a half ago we got behind the truth that these were nanotechnologies that were intelligent and can send and receive signals, and that these were bioweapons, we wouldn't all be walking around with what they're calling long COVID or post-COVID, with these head fogs and fatigue and my voice being gone. We're all being, these contain quantum dots. They are electronic devices. They emit radiation. We are being poisoned from the inside out, and we are being hijacked and created into new hybrids from the inside out. That is the truth. I mean, my Substacks go through it. I have hundreds of more documents to go through.
There's research prototypes now, which I assume are being used by intelligence agencies, of very small electronic circuits that you can just put in paper or put in paint or on the walls that are powered by the GSM stations, and they operate as the GSM radio wave passes through them. It gives them enough power for a very small amount of time to do things. So obviously that tendency is going to continue. It's not like the Internet of Things. It's if you like, intelligent evil dust scattered everywhere, like confetti in everything. Intelligent evil dust scattered everywhere, like confetti in everything. So I think it's increasingly hard for human beings to work out how to deal with that.
Effectively merging in a symbiotic way with digital intelligence revolves around eliminating the I/O constraint. So it'd be some sort of direct cortical interface.
And you called it a neural lace.
Neural lace, yeah.
It's totally not Google Glass, right?
No, I'm talking about something
which... No, but it's like you wear it? Or you...
No, I mean, it would be... I mean, there are a few ways to approach this, but Some sort of interface directly with your cortical neurons particularly.
But doesn't that imply surgical insertion?
Not necessarily. You could go through the veins and arteries. Not necessarily. You could go through the veins and arteries. Not necessarily. You could go through the veins and arteries because that provides a complete roadway to all of your neurons. A complete roadway to all of your neurons.
I am a UK medical doctor. My hypothesis is that the experimental mRNA COVID-19 injections contain a magnetized nanoparticle attached to the mRNA, which crosses the blood-brain barrier and is then attracted to the brain, particularly midline structures. I further hypothesize that two things aid this passage of the magnetized mRNA to the brain: local temperature effects from EMF radiation and from an artificial network, such as from hydrogel.
Is a neural lace, your limbic system, your cortex, and then a digital layer, sort of a third layer above the cortex. Limitation is input-output. So we already have, we're already a cyborg.
But doesn't that imply surgical insertion?
Not necessarily. You could go through the veins and arteries because that provides a complete roadway to all of your neurons.
Fast forward to the 27th of March 2017, and Musk announces that he will be backing a new brain-computer interface venture, Neuralink. The ultimate goal of this company is to merge man with machine, fusing human intelligence with artificial intelligence to bring humanity up to a higher level of cognitive reasoning. Without this technology, Musk argues that humans will be unable to keep pace with advances in artificial intelligence, and that humans will become the intellectual equivalent of the house cat. So far, Musk has been calling this brain-computer interface technology Neuralace. In essence, Neuralace is an ultra-thin mesh that
And what I want you to notice is especially this blackish thing that appears over there as a kind of mesh.
Just like Neo from The Matrix, in a matter of minutes, you too could proclaim, "I know Kung Fu."
Show me.
In order to insert Neuralace, a tiny needle which contains a rolled-up mesh is placed inside the skull, whereby the mesh is then injected. The mesh unravels upon injection, encompassing the brain. Gradually, the Neuralace will integrate itself with the human brain, creating the perfect symbiosis between man and machine.
We will connect wirelessly our neocortex to the cloud.
This is with nanobots that enter your neocortex.
Right.
To clarify what I think you just said, that in 20 years, plus or minus, so the mid-2030s, we will have nanobots that we can feed into our brain that directly connect to the cloud rather than through anything we carry in our pocket. And in that way, wirelessly, we can basically download entire books, entire languages, and we will then know these things just by the act of downloading them.
Well, that's one implication.
Into our brains.
But we'll have more neocortex, so we won't be limited to a mere 300 million pattern modules. We'll have billions or 10 billion.
What, biologically, or just simply because we have these nanobots?
We'll have this extension that's non-biological.
Everything and everyone is connected and, at the same time, feeds the machine with billions of gigabytes of data that is permanently flowing from our brain.
Implantable neural dust, precise wireless recording of nerve activity. These are the interfaces that they're talking about. He's even talking about being able to inject a vaccine into people, which would put a nanomesh over people's brains. And it's very interesting, folks. This is what they're talking about, an interface, a cortex interface, which will link your cortex directly up with the AI grid. How would that be achieved? And what if everybody doesn't want to do it? That's the question, because the neural dust that they're spraying everywhere, the smart dust, and smart dust is very, very dangerous stuff, folks. It can spy on your brain. There's been a lot of reports and a lot of studies that have come out regarding smart dust. And when you really look at this, folks, it appears that this whole AI grid that Ray Kurzweil and Elon Musk and everybody is talking about is simply being implemented without the knowledge of the people.
See, nanocells are real small.
100,000 times smaller than these dust particulates. You inhale it, they go to work replicating, spreading like a virus, multiplying in exponentials. 6 months' time, I could have 100 million people converted, ditch diggers, porn stars, and presidents. Not one would be the wiser. 100 million people will buy what I want them to buy, and vote how I want them to vote, and do pretty much damn well anything I figure they ought to do.
I'm telling you, it's true, Jack. They said get with the program, but I could not get with that program. That's why I'm here. I had to leave the base. I don't have that much time to tell you, but some really bad people have taken control of this entire planet. It's all tied into the UN, Silicon Valley, Bill Gates, and so many more. There is a huge network collaboration like you would not believe globally. But at their core, the military-industrial complex, to include all intel agencies, and at the very heart of it, the very controlling elite part of it, secret societies, a collaborative, combined effort of secret society evil. I've deactivated my implant, but they have backups. They've been chipping people since the 60s. This stuff is nanotech now. You would not believe what they can do. Everyone is chipped now, or what equates to chips. They can track and watch you anywhere. And they can also activate this stuff through light or ultrasonic frequencies. They can even see through your eyes now, Jack, if you're activated. I'm not kidding you. Everyone globally is smart wireless ready now. So I'll try and make this quick. I've got to get back to the base by 1400 hours. What I'm telling you is true, Jack. They are depopulating the planet. That's right, depopulating the planet. It is intensifying like you would not believe. They have figures to achieve by 2025. Their goals are to achieve huge reductions in populations, and the US and the UK will be hit the hardest. And what they're doing is literally changing the human species, our DNA. There are biotech experiments like you would not believe. Their goals include total remote biological human control and snuffing out a huge mass of the global population, leaving just a few fully remotely controllable smart humans. Transhumans.
Slayers.
Slayers.
Why isn't it murder?
Gina, when's the last time you saw somebody volunteer to be murdered? I'm sure you know that every last one of our Slayers is a bona fide death row inmate. Each one offered the chance to participate as an alternative to their sentence. You stay alive for 30 sessions, you get set free. That's not a bad goddamn deal.
And has any of these men or women actually survived long enough to be set free?
Well, I'd remind your audience that Slayers was put together with the full cooperation and approval of the United States federal government, that the revenue it produces is responsible for funding our entire prison system, keeping the bad guys behind bars, and that the prop was voted for by a cock-solid 68% of the American public.
In an election tainted by suspected digital fraud. Let's talk about the so-called genericons sent into the Slayers' environment with a set of pre-programmed actions with no one controlling them and no way to react. Their chances of survival are next to nil.
There's plenty of men and women in prison who could never cut it as Slayers. Shouldn't they be given the same chance? Roll the dice for a ticket out? Besides, they only need to survive one session.
Right. So, Mr. Castle, how the hell does it work?
It begins with a single nanocell planted in the motor cortex of the brain. This cell can replicate, replacing the cells around it with perfect copies. And these copied cells contain remote access functionality. Therefore, nano plus cortex equals a NANX.
Isn't it true that every human that undergoes this procedure will have a distinct IP address, like a mobile device or notebook computer?
Similar, yet, but control is strictly localized to the parameters of our gaming environments. You take society, for instance. Once a cast member has left the workplace, they are completely free from the control and monitoring of their player.
Oh, well, that's a relief.
Well, to some, maybe. To some. Don't you suspect a good many folks wouldn't mind a nitty bit of control? Someone else making all the decisions for you? No tough choices, no responsibilities. Mine's different. It's built to send, to transmit. Think about it.
We will, Mr. Castle. We will.
They're already achieving this in truth. They are doing this right now by so many methods. It is mind-blowing, Jack.
This is a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
From what they're spraying in the air, including nanobots, carbon nanotubes, nano RF crystals, radio frequency worms, yeah, real worms, Jack, in people. They've aerosolized nano eggs and sprayed them out in chemtrails.
Okay, so real talk, because I was today years old. Anyone know what these things are? Because I thought it was like some white dust on my tree swing, but yeah, nah, they're like moving around. Yeah, this is my June 1st alien disclosure, seriously. I mean, I'm sure this is something, and someone scientific is gonna come explain it to me. But like, y'all better hurry up, cause I'm almost 41 and never seen no shit like this before in my life.
They travel up the nose and they burrow their way into the sinus cavities, and they just keep hatching forever. A lot of people have sinus problems these days. Have you noticed?
It may look like snow, but it's not. The video shows large particles in the air blanketing Rex Drive in River Ridge.
Physically, I got sick that morning, and the next day I had congestion, my nose was running, eyes burning.
Knowles has been shooting videos like this since May.
And tinnitus too. They're doing so much more. From weather warfare that affects every function in our bodies, with the electromagnetic effects, to toxic food, toxic water, and one of the worst, high-frequency pulsed radiation. Millimeter waves. Yeah, that's the 5G thing. A serious millimeter waves weapons grid. From the ground up to satellites, and from other space tech too. It's all in place, Jack. It's all in place.
I think there's going to be a lot of breakthroughs on the medical front, particularly around the synthetic mRNA. You can basically do anything with synthetic RNA, DNA. It's like a computer program. So these are, you can basically do it. You can turn someone into a freaking butterfly if you want with the right DNA sequence. So, I mean, caterpillars do it.
Blanketing Earth with frequency radiation and pushing out gamma bursts and electromagnetic pulses. They are literally cooking people, Jack. They're giving them cancer, breaking up DNA, cooking Earth. Most people still haven't noticed. They don't know what's going on. They just think they're ill. And daytime, they're using a sun gun. For real, Jack. It was developed by the Nazis, and after Operation Paperclip, they finished the job. They've also got a sun simulator up there. And none of this is theory. All developed a long time ago.
Okay, so just when you think it can't get any worse than this, it gets way worse. You guys, this is going to blow your mind, and this is going to be kind of out there for some people who haven't been following this thing for over a decade. But I'm going to say it anyway because it's the truth. Okay, so here is a patent. US 8736272B2. This is for an LED solar simulator system. Now I'm talking about a sun simulator that is LED. Can you imagine an LED light so huge that it would simulate the sun? And don't think this is something that hasn't been produced, that hasn't already gone to manufacture and hasn't already been produced. Here is a picture of a solar simulator, an LED solar simulator that the Germans made. So it's no coincidence that the Germans have already gone past the point of, engineering, building, manufacturing, all of it, and actually created these enormous LED transmission systems. But what we do know is that these things exist. Whether you call them a sun simulator or whether you call them LED transmitters, they are repeatedly spotted in our skies and people take pictures of them. I mean, there it is. I mean, it's there. This is happening. These things these satellites are deployed over our heads. Now, in light of the LED technology, the Li-Fi technology that I've just shown you, this is massive. At this point, there's no way for us to even know if our thoughts are our own. Why depression is so rampant, why all of a sudden has violence risen up. And when I was a kid, we never had school shootings anywhere in any country. It just didn't happen. But now they happen all the time. This is not just a sun simulator. This is a giant Internet of Things, beast, antichrist, monster satellite that can be deployed to beam frequencies, and you just saw it. These light frequencies, these LED frequencies, they carry information, they carry data, and it's two-way. They receive our information, the information that we are putting out in light, which we as humans have a light signature. We have a frequency signature. Every organ in our body resonates at a different frequency. So this technology that the people in the know are so far above us in technology, they've kept us in the dark for so long that we can't even fathom. This is shocking to even talk about this going on, but what I'm saying is so far below what is actually going on. If we actually knew how far along in this Antichrist beast system that we are, I mean, people would go into panic mode.
And all that technology, or most of it, was inspired by Tesla science. Yeah, he did some good things, but it's been twisted. And it was all born from Operation Paper. So all advanced Nazi technology being used by the controlling elite. They were responsible for the Nazis in the first place. It's a long story. But all long planned, all by design, all part of the global control plan. They think cooking Earth and people can be put down to their climate change for their alibi, for the UN illusion scam. But there is no climate change, Jack. At least nothing more than there always was. The weather warfare provides the effects. They are spraying the hell out of that also enhances the waves. The chemtrail uses for those trails is off the scale. They are using multiple directed energy weapons to target people. From houses, vehicles, use giant transmitters. The ionosphere, back onto. They can target houses. They can target countries. They're all over the world.
At this apocalyptic
Through the smart grid and through their connecting beams direct to their nano-activated implants. These implants are inhaled through the air from chemtrails. And there are nanobots that self-construct within people's bodies. They have so many things going on at nanoscale, Jack. It sounds out there, Jack. Real. They are using light and frequencies in so many nefarious ways. I have no time to tell you it all now. But they are literally connecting people to the cloud. Waves, via millimeter waves, and via Wi-Fi.
So there is no Wi-Fi involved, it's just light. And you may wonder what's the point? And the point is this. There will be a massive extension of the internet to close the digital divide. And also to allow for what we call the Internet of Things. Tens of billions of devices connected to the internet. In my view, such an extension of the internet can only work if it's almost energy neutral. This means we need to use existing infrastructure as much as possible. And this is where and the LED come in. I demonstrated for the first time in TED 2011 Li-Fi or light fidelity. Li-Fi uses off-the-shelf LEDs to transmit data incredibly fast and also in a safe and secure manner. Data is transported by the light, encoded in subtle changes of the brightness. If we look around, we have many LEDs around us. There's a rich infrastructure of Li-Fi transmitters around us. Li-Fi transmitters around us.
Another thing we've seen that is captured all the time now is this flower petal pattern, which is what you see from an LED light. When people are taking pictures of the sun now, see these flower petal patterns coming out instead of rays? Now this is what people are capturing when they're taking pictures in the sky of the sun now. And I know people want to say, oh, it's because of the cameras or whatever, but this is precisely what we see, this flower petal signature. When you take pictures into an LED flashlight, you'll get the same exact thing, these flower petal signature. And that's what we're seeing when people take pictures of this sun in the sky. But whether you believe that or not, it doesn't matter. This is spotted in the sky continually. Just go online and search it. There's a million photographs of this being caught in the sky. It's there. These things are there. They're already beaming this over our heads. I mean, think about the implications of a scenario way worse than the they are linked into, they're using wires to link into all. If none of that was necessary, what if this Internet of Things, this artificial intelligence, this beast, just like rain, it's raining down on us all the time. What if they've wirelessly hacked all of our chakras?
We humans should get used to the idea that we are no longer mysterious souls. We are now hackable animals. That's what we are.
Does this
COVID-19 crisis, which you call the biggest crisis of our lifetimes, does it to you represent, in the end, little more than a bump in the road, or is it something more profound than that?
I think that in our lifetime, if you think in terms of a couple of decades, it will be big. Not because of the epidemic itself, but because of the economic and political consequences. It could be a watershed event in several ways, like we discussed earlier with surveillance. People could look back in 100 years and identify the coronavirus epidemic as the moment when a new regime of surveillance took over, especially surveillance under the skin, which I think is maybe the most important development of the 21st century, is this ability to hack human beings, to go under the skin, collect biometric data, analyze it, and understand people better than they understand themselves. This, I believe, is maybe the most important event of the 21st century. The moment when a system out there knows me better than I know myself. Now, in the past, many tyrants and governments wanted to do it, but nobody understood biology well enough. And nobody had enough computing power and data to hack millions of people. Neither the Gestapo nor the KGB could do it. But soon, at least some corporations and governments will be able to systematically hack all the people. It's often said that you should never allow a good crisis to go to waste.
The pandemic has opened the door for more intrusive kinds of data collection, including biometric data.
What we have seen so far, it's corporations and governments collecting data about where we go, who we meet, what movies we watch. The next phase is the surveillance going under our skin. We need to reinvent democracy for this new era